Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. Here is Michael Savage.
It's the Savage Nation. You'll see where I'm going. Give me a break here. Come on, guys, speed it up. That's it. Let's get the Strauss moving here. So, as the world turns, come on, let's go, guys. Bring it up to the fast part. The Blue Danube, is that it? What we're listening to? Yes. Now, many of you have heard this in the film 2001. Perhaps some of you are musically oriented and you know exactly what we're playing. Of course, it doesn't match Obama. It doesn't match Obamacare, Richard Holbrooke, the war criminal, according to many in Europe. It doesn't match the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergs. It doesn't match the secret hand that runs America. And that's why I'm going to talk about this for a moment. Here I am sitting with the worst back pain I've ever had in my life, and I'm a healthy guy. I've been real lucky. I told you that I've had a great run, but I'm debilitated. I can hardly move my legs. It's a result of tremendous stress, and all I can say is curse the litigious, and may all of their children get what they give to others. And thank God for dogs. That's another thing I got to tell you. As I lay curled up in bed before the show, it's the strangest thing. My little guy Teddy, who usually sleeps at the foot of the bed, I don't know how. I don't moan. I don't complain. He came to the back of my back and pushed his body against my lower back through the covers. And I said, how do they know these things? Anyway, at the end of the show, I'm going to have some body work done. And this too shall pass. It's just what it is. But here's the paradox, or shall I say the crux of the strange situation I find myself in. I am supposed to go to a dinner dance tomorrow night, a tuxedo, black tie dinner dance put on by a cultural organization in San Francisco. Now, it is the antithesis of my being. I'm a recluse. I generally don't go out. It's the opposite of Charlie Chaplin with the cane and the mustache. And here I am. Suddenly, I basically bought a table for 10 several months ago because I have a problem. And you know what my problem is? Sometimes I blur fantasy with reality when it comes to life events. I hope I don't do it much when it comes to politics. I got to admit, I hope I don't. But as Einstein was willing to admit that perhaps his theory was wrong, and he spent the last years of his life attempting to prove that his theory was wrong, even though he couldn't do it, I don't mind if you try to prove my theory's wrong about Obama or what's going on in the world. If I'm wrong, but I don't believe I'm wrong. However, when it comes to reality, I have a little bit of a disconnect. I'm the kind of guy who remains an eternal optimist, and I'm always disappointed. So when this came up, I said, I think I'll make a donation. I'll buy the table, and I'll invite 8 friends, because it'll be a combination holiday party, birthday party, New Year's Eve party, end of year party, and we'll have the black tie. It'll be a dinner dance, and I'll enjoy it. But now that it approaches and my back is out, I haven't any idea why I am going. I mean, I'd much rather stay home in bed with an aspirin and watch, I don't know, military history perhaps, or the world's craziest moments when fans in Spain or Venezuela wreck stands because the ball went in the wrong place. So here I am going on to the website from last year's event of this nature, and they're the very people I have avoided all of my life. Now, I've said that about TSA people on the other end of the social spectrum, and it's true. All of my life I have worked very hard to never have to be around people like those who work for the TSA. In other words, every dollar I made, I moved to a better neighborhood to get away from them, and there you are, no matter what you've achieved. If you have to go through an airport, the very people you've run from are sticking their they're probing your proboscis, let's put it to you that way. So now let's look at the other side of the society scale. Here are the plastic surgery cases who go to these types of events. There are various peoples who look like a combination of Jerry Mahoney, the puppet. This guy looks, I can't mention his name, but this man I am looking at from last year's dinner looks like he's had more surgery than Joan Rivers. Here, I can't even read their names because I'll get a lawsuit. Why do I want to be around them, I'm asking myself. Why do I want to go to a party with these people? 99% of them are friends of Nancy Pelosi. 99% of them are Democrats. 89% of the 99% are not worth 10 cents but put on airs like they still have money, even though they're living on a house in Pacific Heights that they can't afford, that they inherited from their grandmother. And yet I'm looking forward to it in a strange way. So I have no question for you, other than I'm sick and tired of politics for right now, so I thought I would bring up something I'm going to do tomorrow night, assuming I can get out of here and get over there. So I have my little table in the. By the way, I'm an inveterate planner. Usually the wife in the family does that. Usually the wife in the family cooks. The opposite of I'm not. I like to cook or get takeout in a box and watch television. And I like to plan things immaculately. So here I have the table set up with the name on it, Savage, with the table number, and I had to lay out everybody's name, and I had to decide where they sit. It was very much like planning a wedding. I am going to wear a tuxedo. I have the same tuxedo I wore to my daughter's wedding 10 years ago, and I am proud to say that I actually still fit in the thing, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, because as people get older, they usually shrivel. You notice that old people shrivel up and they lose weight? Well, I've neither gained weight nor lost weight. It's sort of like a guy who has a military uniform that he puts on and it still fits. It doesn't even bulge anywhere. It's absolutely the same as I was 10 years ago. I suppose that's a good thing. I can't even buy myself a new tie. I have the same cummerbum set, even though it's cummerbun. It's the same cummerbum set, because most people who wear them are bums, as I can understand it, that I've had for 20 years. It was made from, when I bought these from kimonos. They were fashionable 20 years ago. Remember they were ripping up and selling kimonos in Japan, and they made ties and cummerbuns out of them? I have the most amazing tie and stuff. But what's the point? The only thing I can think of is drinking as much of the champagne that I'm providing as fast as possible. Because, you see, I'm not going to drink the house wine. No matter how elegant these dinners are, the wine is undrinkable. It's usually donated by one of the contributors who owns a terrible winery in Sonoma or Napa, and they provide this kind of waxy Chardonnay that women who don't know wine like to drink, that leaves people, well, just leaves me sick. So I decided to buy some very, very costly champagne to provide for my table, because I don't want to drink the swill. Now, what is the social point am I going? I have no idea. As I said to you, I make mistakes. But I am going. It would be people like Richard Holbrooke are going to be there on a minor scale in a provincial city, a little small provincial city on the Bay. You know, it's sort of like America is, as you well know, divided across social barriers, no matter what they say. And San Francisco is sort of the Marseille of America. It's the, let us say, the backside of America, San Francisco. It likes to hold itself up as a truly sophisticated Paris of the West, but in fact it has almost no resemblance to Paris whatsoever, which is what makes it very charming. I have nothing more to add on this other than I hope I'm well enough to go. And now if you want me to, what's today's date? Tuesday? Tuesday of the week. Monday is entertainment, food, restaurants. Tuesday is open. Wednesday is the money day. Thursday is nutrition and health. Friday is religion and philosophy. So today is an open day anyway. So frankly, I'd rather do an open day. I mean, you want me to talk about Richard Holbrooke and who he is? You think you really care? They're making him into a super god already. But I don't really want to spend my time on him, frankly. All you got to know is about Richard Holbrooke is this. They're making him into the great ambassador. All you got to know is that he was on the American International Group, Inc. Board of Directors. That's AIG in 2008 when the insurance company locked in the bonuses that were stoking national outrage. Okay, that's number one. During the period that Richard Holbrooke was on the AIG board, they took up investment strategies that basically led to a near collapse and forced you to bail out the AIG company. Okay? Now, there are others that you need to know about. This guy stands in the same league, Holbrooke, as Henry Kissinger, in my opinion. And I'm not a big fan of Henry Kissinger. Holbrooke is an insider. He's a member of the global elite, along with Henry Kissinger, David Rockefeller, and others. They're all the American friends of Bilderberg. Who are the Bilderbergs? I pointed out in Trickle Up Poverty. It's an organization that takes money from Exxon, Arco, IBM, and other transnational corporations and has its meetings funded by the globalist Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, and the Carnegie Endowment Fund. So you got to understand that the globalist outfit, the Trilateral Commission, is also an organization that old Holbrooke, along with his good old buddy Hank Kissinger, belonged to. I think I have laid out a thumbnail sketch of the man that the newspapers are calling honorable this, honorable that. I don't know whether he was honorable or not, but as far as I'm concerned, what he did to the Serbs alone puts him into the rogue galleries, the rogue gallery of American figures as far as I am concerned. I do remember during the bombing of Serbia by Bill Clinton and NATO, they were the 78 worst days of my life when I saw this nation of Serbia decimated by Bill Clinton and the international gangsters in order to steal Kosovo from them, in order to run a pipeline through Kosovo. It was astonishing how the world let them get away with it. But you got to remember something. At that time, see, now I'm doing it. I didn't want to do it. I guess, it's the man who knew too much. So let it go at that. So what would you like to talk about that's of any interest to you? No funeral for Madoff's son. Body to be cremated without service. That's a horrible death. The body of Mark Madoff, who killed himself by hanging himself with a dog leash on the second anniversary of his father Bernie's arrest for a massive Ponzi scheme, will be cremated without any funeral service, sources told the Post. Well, I'm not going to get into whether you want to be cremated or buried. It's not exactly what I'd like to talk about right now. But, there is something here in the Madoff story that should be talked about. When a father is evil, and I know some people who are very evil, their children usually pay for their evilhood. Their innocent children usually pay for the father's evils. Let's say the father is the type who sues everybody. Let us say the father is the type who robs from everybody. Let us say the father is the type who makes everybody as miserable as he can. Usually the children pay for that through horrible diseases unto the third generation. Now, you talk about Mark Madoff. Was he innocent? I don't know, but I don't think so. I mean, he lived off his father's scam, and although him and his brother Andrew have never been criminally charged because they claim they had no knowledge of their dad's scam, I don't believe it. They made millions of dollars off the father's scam. And what about Ruthie? Ruthie, the wife, why is she not in an orange jumpsuit doing macrame somewhere in Connecticut? The man lived in a multi-million-dollar home in Soho, and he couldn't find a job at a respectable Wall Street firm. Why not? Because they wouldn't have him, because he wasn't smart enough to be a crook like them. He was only smart enough to be a crook for his father, in my opinion. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cough today. A funeral director at the Andret Funeral Home, Gramercy Park, took the body today from the medical exam.